Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Starch Lady and friends. We are here the middle of June already. Is it birthday time? Diane, is it today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Does that mean we get to sing today? Yes.
Sure.
Join in, Caroline. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Diane. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
For all of our posterity to see for years to come. Yeah, it's the birthday week. Samantha's birthday is also tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, and mine's on Saturday. And I've got another client whose birthday is also today. So the 16th was a very popular birthday day.
A lot of Geminis.
Yeah. That means we're work twice as damn hard as everybody else. Don't let anybody fool you. None of this double personality crap.
Although sometimes I wonder.
It just means we're twice as hardworking, you know. So twice as much of us to love, I guess. I was looking at some books today. We're going to talk about them a little bit later today from Dr. McDougall, but I couldn't believe how many pages of references was in this book. Of this size book, this much of it is references. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so let's hear how your week's gone. You want to start, Diane?
It's going pretty well. I've done pretty well, actually. My head and upset stomach. I don't know if it's residual from the hospital crap food or something, but so I'm working around that, but it's pretty good. Pretty
like
good.
a discomfort or bowel irregularity or anything?
Diarrhea mostly, but just an upset stomach. So I think it's something residual from the hospital.
Okay, try some ginger tea, see if that'll help.
Oh yeah, fresh ginger. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you do that one in the crock pot I taught you with the sliced ginger or the pot, but the sliced ginger and a stick of cinnamon. You do that one?
No, I haven't done that one.
Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite recipes. Let me show it to you really quick. And you can screenshot it while we're here, or I can share it up on the group, but it's super, super easy. And we go down right there. So I literally take just a fresh knob of ginger and I slice it in like 3 long strips, pop it in the crock pot. I put a stick of cinnamon. I like the long one or 3 small ones. Fill it up with the alkaline water or purified water if you don't have it, and put it on warm and go to bed. And tomorrow morning, you will wake up to the most delightful tasting. Take a shot of that. Most delightful tasting tea. You don't have to add any sweetener or anything. And there's 2 things that it does. 3 things that it does. The ginger settles the stomach. The cinnamon lowers blood sugar. And the ginger also gets rid of those little teeny skinny parasites I don't like to see in the blood that look like grains of rice that can grow longer. So it's delightful. The reason why I do it on the warm setting versus the high or low or boiling water is because I want to keep any living enzymes that are in the ginger, because the ginger's a fresh root. And anytime you put boiling water or cook or whatever, you tend to lower those natural enzymes. And because we're using the ginger for, in your case, the digestive issue, you're going to want to keep those enzymes intact. Okay, natural. All right, not probiotics and all that other stuff. It's just the natural ones that are in the food. So cool. All right, Carolyn, what's up and happening with you this week? Your food's looking great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing pretty good. I don't know. I guess I started tracking like 10 days. Like I had 10 days of like basically gluten free. Like not eating those regular oats anymore.
Yeah.
And I think already seeing a difference, so I'm going to keep it going.
It's
Just to
huge.
see if it improves other things too.
Yeah. I know I can't eat
Yeah.
the instant ones in the packet because of the gluten that's in them. Yeah.
And then yesterday was a good work day because we had a bunch of crews that were leaving. So those ones tend to leave food behind. So it's a nice little bonus for us if they leave something behind, we can take it.
That's it.
Most of it was that kind of junky stuff my family likes, but they did leave some grapes and some vegan cheese, which, yes, it has oil in it, but I think I'll manage.
And grapes, you said?
No, sorry, the vegan cheese. It has oil in it, but
Oh, yeah.
I'll manage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we still use that occasionally as a sprinkle on top kind of thing if we're just, having to have it. But because of those cheese sauces that we all are making, we haven't even missed it for our pizza, so we don't even put it on the pizza usually. We usually just put the sauce, the vegetables and sauce on top, and we don't even need the cheese on there, the cheese sauce or anything. So, okay, cool beans. Awesome. Let's see, what else do I have here? Hold on just a second. Let me get this over here. Any exercise options this last week for either one of you? I know you're probably taking it probably easy a little bit, Diane, yeah?
Well, earlier in the week in the morning, the weather was nice, so we got to walk about a half an hour, and then it all went to, midsummer heat, so I haven't done anything since then. Too dang hot.
Right.
I was just trying to work on my stability more than anything. So I had Phil walking with me in case I fall down. So, but I did pretty well.
Uh-huh. That's good. I'm glad that you're able to at least do something. You look great. You look way better than anybody I've ever heard of that has had a, stroke.
Yeah, I feel very blessed. My PT gal comes again Friday, so she's working with balance too. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that's good. How often do they come?
Twice a week for 4 weeks.
Okay. All right. That's good. So you get to do the I'm drunk walk test.
Yeah, did that. My living room, has steps, so we're working the steps, and I got a chair in there, so we're working the chairs, and I'm doing pretty well.
Do you have the strength to do the stairs?
I have to, or I couldn't get anywhere in the house. I'd be
Okay.
stuck in the mud if I couldn't do any steps in my house.
Yeah. I know when I had the knee surgery and until just literally recently, I was doing the one step, and then using my good leg to pull me up to the next one. I wasn't putting the full step weight on that left leg. And I've only started doing that recently. So I'm ready to hit the mall because the mall's air conditioned and it has stairs and it has length. And some of the malls even have markers to tell you how far you've gone. So now that I live down here, probably the closest one is the South Zarzamora area that I could go to. Actually by Samantha's mom's house. That I could go to, power walk there and do the stairs and stuff. And I don't know if you saw my post on Facebook this week, but in China, I showed a picture of this stairway that goes all the way up like this, all the way up to the top of this cliff. And I was like going, I want to go there so bad because I love stairs and they look like they're pretty wide and pretty gradual, but you have to be under age 60 to do them. And I turned 61 on Saturday. So it's like, I've only got like 2 days to get there, 1 day to get there and climb that thing. So they're not going to let me go. But when I lived in Japan many moons ago, almost 30 years ago, I had a friend who lived in the towers. Now I lived in this little teeny house in the village. And I had rice paddies on 3 sides of me and a forest behind me. And all my neighbors were, Japanese locals. They would literally knock on the door and tell, motion and do the best they could talking to tell me it was time to go to the bathhouse. And we'd scoop up the kids and go get naked with the neighbors and take baths at the bathhouse. And And that was our normal thing. We could actually ride our bike to the beach. But I had a friend who lived in the towers on the military base, and it was like 10 flights. And so we would power up all 10 flights, and then we'd do like 10 laps on each floor coming down. Okay. And then we'd power up all 10 flights again and do it again. We did this like 3 days a week. And I'm telling you what, the inches just started flying off of my body. I mean, it was like within a 5-6 week period, and my pants were falling off. I had lost so much weight doing that. And it was crazy to be able to experience that. And then on alternate days, I had another friend who liked to walk the flight line. And the flight line was 7 kilometers, which in kilometers to miles is about 5 miles, I guess. And we would power around that flight line. And so I missed that. But, you know, in Japan, the weather was beautiful, kind of like, well, it could get hot in the summer. It really could. But for the most part, it was a pretty cool. We had snow in the winter. It's kind of like 4 seasons. So 2 of those 4 seasons was really good for walking outdoors. But that's how we started doing the stairs inside. And I'm actually going to see that friend when we're up in Utah in our trip in August. And I'm excited. It's been 30 years since I've seen her. So it's going to be fun. She was like my maid of honor when my husband and I got married. So
yeah, years ago, I worked in downtown Cincinnati, and I worked in a high rise. I didn't take the elevator. I always took the steps up. I was
yeah.
a whole lot better shape then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember those days when I worked in the law firm, and our office was on the 18th floor, and I would take that, and I was wearing stilettos, you know.
Oh, no.
And
I wear my sneakers, carry my high heel.
I would go up the stairs, and then I would skip down the stairs in stilettos. I mean, am I a nutcase or what? I mean, can you imagine if I just ticked that heel on one of those steps and gone tumbling down? That would have been a sight to behold. And who would have found me?
Yeah.
You know, I was in the stairwell. So, all right. Well, a couple of things I wanted to talk about today was the Healthiest Diet on the Planet, which is the most recent McDougall book, and most recent as in, I think it was written in 2016. And looking for the editorial page here. You know, it's like rocket science, the way they put this stuff in here, isn't it? Yeah, 2016 is when it was last printed. And it summarizes everything, and it has some quotes by Dr. Esselstyn and so forth. And then also his book that he wrote, I believe in 2006 and reprised in 2008, called Digestive Tune-Up. So this is going to apply here for you as well with your issues right now. But these two in combination are an excellent source of and tool. And I had, if you remember, I posted that on about the 20th day of this Mary's Mini that I'm doing, I switched over to rice because the guys left and they took the last of the onions and potatoes with them. And rather than going to the store and buying more potatoes, I have bags and bags and bags of rice, everything from black forbidden rice to long grain wild rice to brown rice, jasmine. What's that other one we love? There's several different kinds of rices in there. So I thought, you know, let me just try that for a little bit. And I have been extremely shocked, surprised, astounded at how much less I'm eating. Sometimes I can't even eat that second meal and I save it for breakfast the next day because rice is so filling. And maybe it's because I'm doing the brown rice, but get this, a pound of 2 cups, 16 ounces a pound of brown rice was only 78 cents at my local grocery store. And it was the local brand. Okay. 78 cents. And I compared that to other brands that were brown rice, and they were like $1.50 more per pound than this little cheesy single, about the size of one of those little bean bags, you know, you buy. It's literally just a pound. And so I bought like 8 of those suckers, and I make it up in the pot. And I'm now, I think, on day 3 of this pot. And I had soaked up some portobello mushrooms that were freeze dried in my pantry. I put them in there with some, other vegetables and things like that. Cooked it all up. There was let's see, we put the mushrooms on top of it. We put green beans, a bag of frozen green beans. We put like tons of spinach and stuff and had to weight down the lid because it was too full. And have you ever cooked rice and it like wants to bubble out the top and land on your counter? I've always had to put my rice cooker on a plate. Well, because I had all this stuff on top of it, it didn't overflow. It didn't foam over. It didn't do any of that. And so I thought, wow, that was even less mess. And it was like everything was all done at the same time. I just stirred it up, put a little bit of coconut aminos in there. And other than putting a little sauce on, or like for breakfast this morning, you can see me post, you know what I added? I added cactus, I did. And so, it's just been a really neat way to have this food just sitting there. And because it's delicious, but there's no way to overeat it. I mean, I would like pop. I mean, it's just so filling that, a couple scoops and I'm good to go. And so I didn't expect that. I guess I didn't expect that. And I guess because it's brown rice, my bowel movements have just been incredible. And so I'm thinking I might stick with this for a little bit. I can see how you get tired of rice sooner than I would the potatoes, but I can also overeat the potatoes. You know what I mean? They seem to be something that I can just sit there and I could eat a bowl just pretending it's ice cream, And so just something to think about. So if you're not doing a mini, but you're also still mixing your foods and you're alternating things here and there, that'd be something to try and see how that works for you. I'd be curious to hear from you and see what, eating brown rice combinations do for you.
Are you cooking them in a crock pot or the Instant Pot?
I have a rice cooker.
Oh, of course you do. Shoot.
It's a Hamilton Beach rice cooker. It was $10. I still haven't got the Instant Pot yet. You have one, right? In your box still?
I do, but it's still in the box.
So I was watching another video. I do this all the time. It's like I keep watching the videos and they keep telling me there's nothing to be afraid of. I like the one with the plant-based dads. And they were doing a demonstration of pasta in the Instant Pot. And he kind of relieved part of my fear, because I guess he has the same fear. But even though it's a quick release and you flip the button and the steam goes out, and then when it stops, you can take the lid off safely, he puts a towel over it so that no steam can come up and burn his hand or anything. So I was right. They can still burn your hand. So they're not as likely to jump off and land on your shoulder, though, like happened to my brother when it burned him so badly. So, but that was, the man's in his 80s. So we're talking a long time ago, because I'm 61 and he's 19 years older than me. So he's what, 80-ish? Yeah. Yeah, ish. I can't do math. I'm sorry. Anyways, he's old. Anyways, but I am excited to try a couple more things with the rice. I have made, did you see the horchata video that I showed you about how to make the brown rice milk, in the blender with the cinnamon and stuff? That has lasted since I made it. I'm down to the last little teeny bit, and then I'm going to make some more. It has lasted, and it tastes like horchata. And it only has the cinnamon in it and a little bit of vanilla. I didn't even go crazy with adding sweeteners or anything. And I even have the stevia gingerbread cookie sweetener. That's literally what it says. It's stevia, but it's flavored like gingerbread cookies. And I have that. I could have added in, didn't need to. So I did put a little squirt of syrup in there when you saw me make it. But that has lasted all week. I haven't had, oat milk does not last that long. It gets a little slimy. But this rice milk lasted this whole time. So, but I've even poured that over the top and had it like a little cold bowl of cereal. And I'm doing my little cold bowl of cereal because it's literally a little tiny bowl, because like I said, I can't eat a lot of it. It's just too filling. And if I eat it slower with a very tiny baby spoon, or I eat it with my chopsticks, I get full even faster because I have to eat slower because of, you know, the amount that's going to my mouth. And you can't just swallow rice. I don't think that would be comfortable. That'd be like swallowing a mouthful of pills, you know, because it's so textured, right? So you find yourself chewing it a lot of extra motion than you would have, you know, typically. So, all right, let's move into this digestion thing here. And it's talking about get relief from bad breath, GERD, indigestion, ulcers, colitis, diverticulitis, gallbladder disease, hemorrhoids, constipation, and irritable bowel syndrome, and more. So why do you think eating the McDougall lifestyle would cause you to have less bad breath? Any hints?
Not eating meat.
Not eating meat. Anytime you eat meat or dairy in particular, because that's a rotting, decaying thing, animal, it's going to secrete and smell through your skin. So yeah, the smell changes. When your body's alkaline, there's no acidic acid discharge. You can sweat. You need to sweat. I want you to sweat, but you're not going to stink when you're doing it. I literally, this is like the second day I've put on this long sleeve. So when I go out in the yard, I have to wear long sleeves just because I don't want to get poison anything ever again. But it's kind of a material. It's a fishing shirt that I got in Florida, but it's a brand in HUK. It's for fishermen. But because of the material that it's made out of, it's slicky. If I sweat and get wet, it's almost like a built-in air conditioner, because that breeze, you know, hits the moisture and it kind of keeps me cool. And if I need to, I can put on the hood like this, and it can prevent, you know, the sun coming down on my back or whatever. And I actually put it up like this when I put my helmet on when I'm, you know, on the lawnmower too, so that I don't get grass down my neck and I don't get sunburned if I'm out there in the sun in the open field area. So, but, you know, a normal person would have taken this drenched thing from yesterday in the garden and put it in the laundry. I just hung it up in the bathroom and put it on this morning because that's how I roll. I don't have to wash my clothes as often. I usually wear my clothes 4 and 5 times before I put them in the laundry, because I can hang them back up because I don't smell. My husband says it's like, you know, sleeping next to a sweet candy store. I think he was just being flirtatious. But if you can smell yourself, or you can smell your partner, they ain't eating right. They're sneaking in something and it's not agreeing with them. I've told you about the mosquitoes, and in North Dakota, where they took the bananas and the peanut butter off the shelves in the grocery stores during the summertime, so that the mosquitoes would not be as attracted to your skin. So if the mosquitoes can smell peanut butter and bananas and be attracted to it, you know that there's a scent that goes with that. We might not smell peanut butter in that, but if we have body odor, we know we're not getting something right. Even our lady parts smell better. I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. So what else has he got in here? He's got sickness, stroke, and a brand new start. Okay, I think this is his story. Do you remember when, if I ever told you that when he was 18 years old, he had a major stroke in college? Okay, and he talked about that in our 12-day program too, right, Diane? And it caused paralysis. Huh?
He talked about it on Chef AJ's group too.
Yes, this is huge. To think that he was only 18 years old when this happened too.
But he
So
said his diet was terrible.
His what? Oh, yes.
His diet was terrible.
Yeah, his diet was horrid. And I see so much of that. You see that a lot. They always say the freshman 20, you know, that they gain 20 pounds their first freshman year. You know, that's a kind of a typical thing, because they are away from home and they're living on top ramen and pizza, you know? So, but that's an interesting read in here. Then he starts talking about having a new way of thinking about food and how that transitioned and changed him a little bit. There was a TikTok video the other day, and this lady was making fun of this person who was literally trying to get the lid off of something, but they didn't have their shirt on. And she kept playing it over and over again because the man had bigger bazooms than she did because he was so overweight. And when I first saw it, I thought, why is this visible on TikTok? And then I realized it was a man, and he was just overweight and had these giant bazooms. So the breast area is one of the first places that gains weight. And on me, it's one of the first places that loses weight. And so, you know, I've always been a big girl, you know, as far as that goes. They used to call me Dolly in high school, even when I had a tiny waist. But that is a big part of the reason why breast cancer is such an issue too, because of the fatty tissue. And what lives in fatty tissue, what is stored in fatty tissue? Rotten decay. A bunch of acid is stored there. So if you've got a lot of fatty tissue in your breast, it's going to, you know, have that. He talks about the bad breath as much more than meets the nose. And I thought that was an interesting chapter. And it says, can you tell you smell, you know, these sort of things. He's got some great, he's got such a sense of humor. He really does. And I love how he writes the chapters on this. GERD, you know, I mean, all of this stuff that he's got in here, talks about gallbladder, gallstones. I mean, the chapters just keep going and going, and it just flows very nicely. And it allows you to see the correlation between polyps and diverticulitis. Diverticulitis is the little teeny tiny pinholes that are in your colon that will trap a chia seed. It'll trap a strawberry seed, and the pain is excruciating, and it is so hard to get over that. That pain is just incredible. But if you're eating properly, that colon lining will heal and become shiny and smooth again, and not have those bumps and erosions in there. Again, like I say before, you know, the foods you eat create the cells that replace the bad cells that are, or the older cells that are dying off, and you want them to be replaced with good, healthy cells. So back over here to the healthiest diet on the planet, you know, if that didn't pull a bunch of books off the shelf when you see pancakes on the front of a diet book, you know, but these are his, you know, traditional healthy pancakes made usually with oats, or I think he's done them with potatoes too. But he gives a little bit more history about some of the patients that he's had in the past. And then he has this little section in the middle, these shiny pages, I call it. And I wanted to go over that with you just for a second. He says, this is that red light, green light book that we went over on the video before. And it's in the middle of this book. He's printed it, making a picture book of, you know, don't eat these things. Eat these things instead: sweet potatoes, whole grain breads, and oats, things like that. And be careful with nuts, avocados, and seeds. You know, very, very careful with those things. And sparingly, if you must. And it says you have to fix the food. The truth is simple. He's talking about obesity. He's talking about diabetes, heart disease, arthritis. I can attest to that arthritis thing big time. Not only, but I've talked about my husband's blood sugar and my blood sugar and all that. Dropping so many points that first week that I had has been just still continuing going down. I'm losing weight every week. My African waist beads are dropping, and lost Carolyn, she's back right there. And those sort of things are very valuable to kind of motivate. And I love it. I actually took the waist beads into the gal that made them, because you put them on a stretchy band. And I guess because of the weight of the tiger eye and the hematite that she put on there that helps stimulate metabolism and stuff, it literally stretched out the elastic. And I'm sitting there thinking I lost a whole bunch of weight, like this much weight. and it was actually the elastic stretching. So I was a little disappointed. So she's putting them on, should be ready any minute now. I think she got the beads on the 11th. I'm going to check with her today, but she's going to put them on a permanent strand with a fastener that is smooth, one of those little barrel ones that twists together, so that I can put them on and they will be solid, so they won't be able to stretch. So I'm excited about that. And then the arthritis, those 16 points of arthritis that I've talked about in my hands being completely gone. I don't notice anything. I can play the piano, I can type, I can do yard work. And the only time I ever notice a problem is if I'm holding something, like say I'm holding a, when I noticed when I was painting, I was holding the paint container in my hand in that same position while I was rolling and dipping and, you know, brushing and stuff. And I noticed by holding my hand in that same position for too long, it was hurting. But that was more from the weight and the inconvenience of holding the paint can than it was anything. He goes through here and he's talking
They talk about arthritis in that book, because my hands are hurt. I got these ugly little knots on my finger that hurt.
Well, I still have the ugly knots, but I don't have the pain. So if you still have the pain, we need to talk a little bit about what's causing that. And for me, it was, I literally had to take all the acid things out. That was one of the reasons why I stopped drinking soda completely. Not getting any off-plan foods. It's kind of like when Samantha says that, you know, she'll go off plan at her mom's house and then she's suffering for it. She's in pain in her whole body. Okay. So look at that and see where there might be still getting something in that doesn't belong there. It could be something as easy as processed food, crackers or something like that, or croutons on a salad at a restaurant. Just watch those things. Gluten, big time. And so gluten for the arthritis and acid foods for the arthritis. Same with the GERD and things like that. Gout, different things like that that are acid driven. So that pain that you're feeling is acid in your finger. That's really what that is. The bone, I can't do much about these shapes, these knobs that are on my thumbs and fingers and stuff. I can't really get rid of those, but they're straight again and they don't hurt. And there's 16 of those little suckers on just my hands alone. And then I have some in my upper neck and my lower back from being rear-ended in a car wreck. So talking here about cancer, it's talking about GERD, constipation, you know, all of these things they call food poisoning. It talks about how the kings and queens were so sick and only lived to be young. I mean, back in the day, it was a rarity that somebody lived past 45. You know, they got married so young, and, you know, the kings and queens, they would be betrothed when they're like 12 years old and dead by the time they were 45. They lived past 50. It was a big deal, but they were eating nothing but garbage, you know. Talks about other food poisoning foods. And it says, this is not your food. It's the cat's food. It's a chicken. This is the cat food. Oil is not your food. Your body's trying to heal itself, and so on and so forth. Talks about the Bible story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the Bible over 2,600 years ago. When it says, when Daniel and his men who ate vegetables were compared to men who ate animal foods, like most Americans do, at the end of 10 days, the vegetarians looked healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal king's food. It's got the Baha'i, I'm saying it wrong, Baha'i faith in the 19th century, based primarily off of fruits and grains. The gladiator diet from the barley men. The main foods, starches and non-starchy vegetables, fruits and vegetables, and all of these things, and not to eat the meat, the poultry, and the fish. I get a lot of flack on the fish. A lot of people saying, not fish, I can't eat fish, really? Shellfish in particular, they're bottom feeders. They're like, you know, the garbage cans of the sea. Eggs, milk, cheese, all of these sections here, butter, fake meats and cheeses, vegetable oils. We know this. We're experts now. You girls are the experts right here with us. But I love this illustration here. He's got a plate and he's got the looks like oats or something making the continents. and talking about all large populations throughout the history ate primarily starches like corn, rice, potatoes, wheat, cold cereals, oatmeal, pancakes. These are whole wheat or buckwheat potatoes. Oh my gosh. Oh, dang it. I was supposed to go to a networking event this morning at Magnolia Pancake House. And I remember looking up, they have gluten-free buckwheat pancakes. And we didn't go at the last second. So I'm going to take my son. He says, Mom, there ain't nothing there for you. What are you going to eat? You're not going to eat eggs. You're not going to have an omelet. And you can't eat the pancakes. They're not going to serve you a salad for breakfast. And so we stayed home. And then I just saw the word buckwheat here and I go, ah, dang it. I looked it up. They had buckwheat pancakes and I forgot already. So buckwheat is not a wheat. It is a fruit. Did you know that? Yeah, buckwheat is a fruit. And so they make buckwheat noodles that they make like the yakisoba in the Asian culture. And you can get buckwheat grain and make it like a hot cereal, that sort of thing. Eat lots of hash browns, bean soups, potato and carrot soups, vegetable soups. I mean, there's so many things here. Potatoes with beans. This is a very, very common thing in our house. We get the vegetarian beans, no pork in them or anything. And we put them on our baked potato or mashed potatoes. Sweet potatoes. I'm missing that. I'm missing having an occasional treat of a sweet potato. But I think what I'm going to do is I have some raw organic pumpkin in a can, and I'm going to take it out and do what my kids used to call pumpkin spice. They love pumpkin spice. They would choose pumpkin spice sometimes over ice cream. And we take the pumpkin spice, we put it in a bowl, and we stir in a bunch of cinnamon. I'm talking about for a can, I'm putting in like a 1/4 cup of cinnamon, like a lot of cinnamon. It almost turns brown. And sometimes I'll put a little honey or a little sweetener, but usually I didn't even have to do that. And we put it in the fridge and chill it. And then they would take it out and put little scoops in like little dessert cups, and they would eat it with their baby spoons and love it. So I think while I'm doing this rice mini, because it's not going to add anything to it like the sweet potato would as far as the starch goes, the pumpkin would be a great dessert treat. So I'm going to go make some of that. Oh, and I put just a teeny little bit of vanilla in there too. It's like having pumpkin pie without the crust, without baking it. None of that. It's just stir and serve. Maybe I'll make a video. It's super easy. Rice and veggie dishes, brown rice, even the pizza with the whole wheat. He says whole wheat crust. Now, again, I'm going to tell you no wheat, no rye, and no barley. Rice and vegetable dishes. Did you see the video I posted the other day of high carb Hannah, and she's using the kelp noodles? And kelp noodles are always a little bit stiff, even when you cook them and cook them and cook them, but they're very highly nutritious for you. But she boiled them with a little bit of baking soda, and the baking soda softens them up. And then you just rinse the snot out of them before you add them to your food. And then they're soft like regular pasta. Who knew? Vegetable sushi, beans, rice, and corn, grain-based salads, whole grain and bean patty burgers. There's just so many options. Sprouts and vegetables on whole grain bread, non-starchy vegetables. It says, be careful of tofu and other natural soy products. Again, the only people that should be having soy would be somebody like, well, Diane, you and I are in the women's category that could use a little soy now and then, a little estrogen. But Caroline, you're still in youthful age. You haven't hit menopause. And so soy is not your friend. Avocados, occasionally dried fruits, juices, be very careful, it says. Salt, sugar, and spice, be careful. Do not take supplements. He doesn't say be careful about supplements. He says do not take supplements. So you're getting it from your food. And we talked about the farmers. Don't insult the farmers. They're doing their job. That food is perfectly fine. And I can show you, in fact, we'll do that. I don't think I've done that for a long time. We're going to go over and review some of the foods that are the best for replacing different vitamins. Okay. And it says right here, and I love this thought, if not to save yourself and your family, how about saving the planet? But this is my favorite part. Please share this with others. And it's got their names right here. this is why I do these classes for free. This isn't my research. This is his. But because he was so adamant about sharing it, I took him up on that. And it has benefited my clients and my friends so greatly. And I will keep sharing it because he said I could. So it's kind of like the stuff that I do that I love to share with people because, you know, a lot of this is inspiration and the gratitude that I have that I didn't die from cancer, that I had a hysterectomy. And even though it nearly tried to kill me from the surgery, the breast cancer went away. The things that got me into this profession, I have felt obligated to stand on the rooftops and shout to the world and tell them, you know, this is how I fix myself. And it sounds so freaking easy, but it works. So let me go over here to screen share. And let's go back over here to one of my folders, if I can get this to move out of the way. I'm gonna get this to go down here. Let's see, where is it? It would be in the packet. So will it let me go? How do I get to my files? Well, isn't that something? Let me see if I can go into it from here. Okay, here's packet. And we're going to go to the packet here. We're going to go down here to foods. Okay. This is a packet that I like to share with my clients when they come in, they do their blood and urine. And based on their urine, I'm going to mark here, these with the X's already are default. I want everybody eating more water and veggies. I want everybody eating more greens, and that's in lieu of calcium and protein. Lemons and limes, pumpkin seeds, copper foods, iron foods, soluble fiber foods, and greens. So I marked those off, even silica and sulfur and K1 and 2. What are those foods? That's where we get into the exciting part. And so I give them this because they're thinking they got to go buy a bunch of supplements. It's like, no, I don't want you taking supplements. If on the urine test, it tells me that they need vitamin C foods, let's go down here and look. Vitamin C foods. Notice here in the red that an orange contains 70 milligrams of vitamin C in a medium orange. But oranges also contain aspergillus niger, which is a fancy way of saying black mold. And it has natural sugars that never convert. They're just sugars straight up. And so I asked my clients not to eat oranges. One, it's not a significant amount of vitamin C, but that seems to be the go-to that they always tell me that they're going to use. And who needs any black mold? Hold on just a second. My son's volume's up so loud, I feel like I'm yelling. Hold on just a second. It's too loud for my Zoom class. It's coming through the wall. Just a little bit now. Sorry about that. Sounds like an epic, great movie, but it was really loud. But instead, I tell them to eat yellow bell peppers. Look at how many milligrams of vitamin C are in a medium bell pepper. 341. You're going to get more vitamin C from a yellow bell pepper that you can slice, eat raw, dipped in hummus, in a stir fry, or eat it like an apple. You're going to get what, 5-6 times more than you're going to get out of a single orange. That's a lot of oranges to catch up with that. Red bell peppers 190, and so on and so forth. And see how I've got them marked down here. Brussels sprouts and pineapple are going to give you more vitamin C than an orange is. But because of advertising, aka brainwashing, people think that they have to go to oranges as their go-to for vitamin C, and I beg them not to do that. Vitamin D foods, you're going to get vitamin D from oatmeal at 150 IUs per packet, or per cup, I guess you could say. Almond milk, shiitake mushrooms. Now, Dr. McDougall will tell you that if you go outside, we've mentioned this before, go out to get your mail in midday with your glasses off and your arms exposed, 10 minutes in the full sun is going to be enough daily vitamin D intake than taking a supplement. It's going to be the right amount for yourself, for you. And then you can put your sunscreen on, and then you can put your sunglasses on if you want to. But get out there for at least 10 minutes and get full exposure. Here's some vitamin E foods: almonds, spinach, wheat germs, sweet potato, sunflower seeds, avocado. Now, I'm not a fan of palm oil, but there it is as a comparison. But I think on my revision of this, I'm going to take all oils off of here if there's any shown. Butternut squash, olive oil. Again, we're going to take those off. But you're going to get more vitamin E out of, spinach, which is on our program, than you are a lot of these other things that people think they have to supplement. Nutritional yeast for the B12. We know that one. We love our nutritional yeast on our sprinkles and food. Copper foods. Did you know that people can actually die of a copper deficiency? Who knew? But in getting our, intake of kale, now this is showing sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. Again, I'm going to revise that next time around. Pumpkin and squash seeds, flax seeds. These are a lot of seeds up here. Even watermelon seeds, hazelnuts, Brazil nuts, and stuff like that. All the way over to here. From here past the kale, all the way over to here, you're getting a bunch of seeds and nuts. But then it pops down to chickpeas. Yay, there's our hummus. Chickpeas, garbanzo beans, whatever way you want to call them, adzuki beans, kidney beans, white beans, dried figs, and their avocados down here on the bottom. So there's several choices that are in our plant-based eating here that don't include the high fats of the seeds and the nuts. Potassium foods, white beans. Look at white beans. There is 1,189 milligrams, and I believe this is just a 1 cup cooking. I didn't add the 1 cup because I was running out of space. But 1 cup of cooked white beans. They're also the most alkaline of the beans as well. The white beans and lima beans are more alkaline than the red and the black beans. They come up to about 11.1 and 11.0 versus the 3 and 4 that the black and red beans come up to after you eat them. It's called post-digestive alkaline ash. What happens to the food after you eat it? So 1,189 milligrams in white beans. Swiss chard, 961. Baked potato, 941. Black beans, 739. Tomato sauce. Edamame, which again is only for menopausal women, please. Watermelon, 641. Butternut squash, 582. That's a lot of potassium, but most people will reach for a banana. And there's so little banana in here that I didn't even list it on the list. There's so little potassium compared to these higher numbers that I didn't even list them. All right. Magnesium foods, oats, spinach, Swiss chard, legumes like quinoa, sunflower seeds, white beans again, brown rice, and so on and so forth. Pumpkin seeds. Now, I wrote this back when I was having everybody do the pumpkin seed milk, and I do love pumpkin seed milk. And raw green pumpkin seeds are a male prostate's #1 best friend. So when they drink the pumpkin seed milk recipe, they're benefiting their prostate hugely, and also female reproductive organs. If I've got somebody that's got, cysts or ovarian issues and things like that, I will have them do the pumpkin seed milk, and it's just the right astringency to not only kill little round parasites, but it helps to strengthen the reproductive organs in males and females. Iron foods, lentils, spinach, hot cereals, chickpeas. I guess I'd skip the sesame seeds there because they're fat content. Soluble fiber foods. Now, if you want to have good bowel movements, you should be eating on this list right here. You got your Brussels sprouts, your broccoli, your cabbage, sweet potatoes, avocados, asparagus, onion, chicory, sunchokes. Don't know what that is. Beans, peas, lentils, apples, pears, lemons, limes, grapefruits, figs, and dates. I said pigs and dates. Figs and dates, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, and chia seeds. I still do a little bit of chia seeds now and then, but I try to avoid these other ones. Natural enzymes instead of supplementing, only on a rare occasion. Like I said, I keep sauerkraut in the house, and I'll add a couple tablespoons to my salad if I'm having any digestive issues, usually like a constipation or something like that, or if I get a gluten cross-contamination somewhere. But pickles, sauerkraut, kimchi, salsa, apple cider vinegar. I've been doing those Good Girl moonshines this week, and it's been a real treasure. I'm not craving any sweets, and I think it's because of the bitter in the apple cider, and there's just enough flavor going on there that it's been delightful. Today I've got red hibiscus tea here, and it's a strawberry flavored one. I taste the strawberry more than anything. We use the greens for packed protein. Spinach, again, is your highest protein content food. Animal protein is only 20% protein, and it's based on the food that they ate that you're trying to get out of their muscle. Whereas spinach is 49% protein. Leaf lettuce is 42. I missed broccoli in here. Broccoli is 47. How did I miss broccoli? I have to revise my list here. Kale, lima beans, white beans, zucchini, all of these things, all the way down to lemons that are 13% protein. Who knew? And then get lots of fun, sweaty exercise. And instead of supplementing with calcium, again, we're going to get those through doing greens. Dark leafy greens have 226 milligrams of calcium per cup. And I don't know about you, but when I make a salad, it's like 3 handfuls. So it's like 3 or 4 cups of greens. So I'm getting a lot of calcium just from my salads. Beans and lentils, 100 per cup. Almonds is kind of insignificant. It's pretty small. And raw sesame seeds is super, super high. And tahini, which is made from sesame seeds, because of the oil and everything, it lowers it. But again, there's going to be a lot of fat over here. So you get the idea. K1 foods, kale, collard greens, turnips, broccoli, asparagus, pickles, blueberries. K2 comes from natto. That's fermented soybeans. It tastes like, dare I say on YouTube, it tastes like beer vomit. Okay, I'm just saying, but it is full of nutrients, and the Japanese swear by it. And then silica, which comes from your whole grains, your oatmeal and brown rice, things like that, bananas, sulfur. That can come from nuts, but we want to get it from the leafy greens, including broccoli, asparagus, spinach, kale, onion, and garlic. Okay. What was that? Have we gone through that before? Is that the first time you've heard that list? So it's a really good list. If you'd like me to email it to you, I can. I can also load it up as a form on the group so that other people can have access to it. I think I'll go in and revise it today and do that, because I saw a couple of things there that I needed to correct, like adding the broccoli in and a couple of other things. So just, giving you an idea of just kind of a little refresher course of how important this way of eating is, and giving you some other book ideas if you're a book reader, to be able to, this book is actually this Healthiest Diet on the Planet book, because it was written in 2016. It's easier to get a hold of than the Starch solution. People are knowing the supply and demand, and they're selling their used hardback copies of Starch solution for 40 and 60 bucks. No, thank you. This one here, I think I paid 16 bucks or something for on Amazon. I love Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's. We'll close with Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn's write up on the back of the book here. He says, a pioneer in plant-based nutrition, Dr. McDougall crystallizes the flaws of low carbohydrate and paleo disease producing diets, and solidifies the scientifically proven health producing disease reversal power of whole food plant-based nutrition in this book, The Healthiest Diet on the Planet. I like that a lot. Dr. Greger talks on here, Hans Deal, and John Mackey. So good endorsements there on the back of that book, and stuff like that. So a couple of things I'd like to see this week is more pictures. Diane, that's meant for you. Caroline, you're doing great. Keep them coming. And I want to see some sort of consistency and movement. Let me see if I can show you over here. I can get my laptop to come up here. I brought in my, if I can get it, there it is, my exercise mat and my sitter-upper thing. And I've been doing planks. And so when I come in here to work, I've been doing planks, and it's going to take a while. I'm only at 45 seconds before I have to stop, but I've been trying to do them at least twice a day. But because it's right here when I walk in the door, it's like drop and give me a plank, you know, drop and give me 20. So I'm trying to do that. And then getting out, of course, in the yard, I'm doing a lot of that. And I've got this little routine now that as I'm on my way to the bathroom, I'm trying to do some, you know, arm stuff to get rid of these flabby arms. And when I'm drinking this much, I mean, I drink it like half at a time. You know, I have to go to the bathroom every couple hours. So I'm doing this every couple of hours on my way to the bathroom, you know, and just trying to get some movement going. I've got 5 more weeks to look awesome when my husband sees me again. So hopefully he'll be impressed.
Have you confirmed the day you're going to be here?
He has it. I will get that and text it to you.
Yeah,
I think he's got your date down. It was a day later than we talked about before. I think it
Either
was
a day earlier or a day later, because we had something to do the day we were trying to do it.
Yeah, you're volunteering for something.
Yeah,
So
volunteering for a local 4th of July event.
yes. So let me get that number, that date, and I'll text it over to you.
And Saturday's your birthday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll remember that. I wrote that down on my calendar so I'd remember. I don't depend on short-term memory. It fails me often.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. All right. So Diane, date for service. They're keeping good time. So their point in leaving me home was that they would be able to go quicker because I'm the lollygagger. You know, we stopped to pee and I gotta go check out the gift shop, you know, or I got to stay in the bathroom and do pee number 2 because of that stupid surgery they screwed up on me. So when they did the bladder lift, the same time they did the hysterectomy, instead of making my urethra straight from the bladder to, you know, whatever, there's a little loop in it. And so it's like a 10-minute delay. And it's either wait the 10 minutes for that second delay to come out, or you're going to get in the car and get a mile down the road and have to pull over again. So they aren't going quicker because they don't have to deal with me and my weird bladder. So who knew?
Oh,
anyways, but I cannot believe they've been gone a week already. That just blows my mind. They left a week ago Tuesday and it's Wednesday. So it's been a week and very strange, very strange. I do want to pinky promise y'all, I've got to start going to bed earlier. I just don't want to go to sleep. I'm not used to him not being there. And I'll sit there and watch TV. And I have learned this. I cannot watch a series that continues from episode to episode because it will just drag me right into the next one. And I'm on Netflix or Prime or something that has no commercials. And I can just, next thing I know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I've watched 5 more episodes. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. So if I watch anything when I go to bed, it has to be a one and done. Now, it was better when I was able to go and be in the TV room, but my son's using that as his guest room right now until he gets his assignment for his railroad job. And so he's got his thing going on in there and I've got the TV in my room. But it has to be one of those episodes like, you know, Bull or something where each episode, or NCIS where it's each episode ends, you know, because then I can just say, hey, I'm good. I'm done. I can go to bed, you know.
Yeah.
No more series. And I've got to start going to bed about 9:30 so I can wind down and be to bed and asleep by 10 or 10:30 at the latest. So that's my pinky promise to you this week. I'm going to give it my bestest and give it a try. So any questions for me, ladies, while you're still here?
We're good, I think.
Doing good, Carolyn? Everything good there? Any questions? Do you guys want me to make a video or just post a picture about that pumpkin spice thing?
I took a picture of it with my phone.
Okay. Well, that's the ginger tea. The pumpkin spice was the dessert thing.
Oh, yeah. That sounds really yummy.
What'd Carolyn say?
I don't know if I need it actually.
Okay. All right. I will figure out something, make it simple as possible. And if you guys have any questions, you know how to text me. I'm here all the time. Just give me a holler. Okay. All right.
Okay.
You guys have a great week. Love you.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.